online meeting on papaya cultivation and value addition. So let us go through the different aspects in papaya cultivation. Your screen is sharing. I think it's not moving,
The slides are not moving.
Yes.
Now it is moving.
Is it okay?
Yeah. It went to the next slide.
Okay. Nowadays, if you see that the area under papaya cultivation is increasing tremendously, especially the cultivation is moving to the new areas than in the traditional papaya growing areas. So because papaya is having high productivity, because it will give once the papaya plant starts fruiting, it gives throughout the cropping period. So it has very good, high productivity next to banana, and it also we can get higher net returns. And because of having the nutritional value, especially nowadays, the people are more cautious about the health, even after the crisis of COVID. And also the duration of the crop is very less. So that is also another advantage of going for papaya cultivation. And moreover, there is a lot of demand for export. And we can also make several processing products. So that's why the demand is there for processing industries also. So that's why the cultivation of papaya is increasing year by year because of ease in cultivation compared to other crops. The cultivation is very easy. Just a few tips has to be followed, and then we can produce this crop successfully. So let us see papaya. We all know that it is also several names. It is called in several names in several areas. So like you can call it as pawpaw, and mainly it is also known as wonder fruit of tropics and subtropics, because its cultivation is mostly stick on to the tropical regions and somewhat subtropical regions. And because of high nutrition value, this is known as wonder fruit of the tropics. And because of the shape of the fruit, it is also known as a melon tree, because the fruit looks like a melons, like musk melon, like that. So it's also called as a melon tree. So if you see the area where it is produced, where it is cultivated, it was, as I have already told, its cultivation is mainly restricted to tropical regions of the world. And whereas USA also, it is confined to Hawaii and Florida. And there are other countries also which fall under tropical regions. And the world's leading producers are Nigeria, India, Mexico, and Brazil. So these countries are leading producers both in production and also area of cultivation. So if you see this, when it was introduced to India, so we know that India is the first largest producer of papaya next to Brazil. And we know that it is not a native of India. It was papaya is native of tropical America, and it was introduced to India through Portuguese in the year 1611. And now it is cultivated in India almost in all the states. But major areas are in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and other south states like Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So with regard to area and production, these are the numericals. I don't want to stress more thing. So India's share in world papaya production, if you observe, it is 44.4%. That's why it ranks first. And with regard to exports of the papaya, major portion of the papaya is exported mainly to United Arab Emirates and next to Saudi Arabia. Very few is exported to German and Netherlands. And if you see the post-harvest losses of papaya, it accounts 6.7% post-harvest losses annually. So we have already discussed India is the largest, leading producer of the papaya, and next is Brazil, then Nigeria. And with regard to the states, Andhra Pradesh ranks first, followed by Gujarat, Karnataka, then West Bengal, and Chhattisgarh. And with regard to exports also, I have already told maximum nearly 42% of the exports are to United Arab Emirates. Then next is Saudi Arabia, then Netherlands. So it is, as we have already discussed, papaya fruits throughout the year, and it is a highly remunerative fruit, and it can be grown almost every part of the country, and we get maximum yield per unit area, and the income is also next to banana, or it is equal to banana. Earlier it is cultivated as a kitchen garden plant, or it was located in home gardens or in nutritional gardens, but later on, because of the market value has improved, so it has been came to commercial cultivation of this crop. It is also planted earlier as a filler crop in the fruit orchards, but now the monocultivation is also there. And with regard to the what is the morphological characters of this papaya tree, it is a tall growing herbaceous plant, and it is short lived. It will live only 3 to 4 years if all conditions are favorable, and it will have a large leaves, and generally the flowers will be borne on the leaf axils, and is mainly propagated by seeds. So it will have larger fruits, and you can see the seeds in the cavity, and the pulp color will range from yellow, orange, pink, and also red flesh. And but the market value is more for orange or red flesh fruits. Then it is highly nutritive. It have high vitamin content A and C, and also minerals such as potassium. And another important feature of this papaya is there is a proteolytic enzyme which is known as papain, which can be extracted from the latex collected from the immature fruits. So this papain can be used in industries like to tenderize the meat, and also in the cosmetic industries, leather industries, and also it has several medicinal uses are there. And we know that it can be used as a fresh fruit because it is very delicious, and it is a fruit with unique food values. And we know that ripe fruits can be made into dessert purpose, and we can also make into several post harvest products like jam, jelly, soft drinks. We can also use in ice cream preparation crystallized fruits, and even it can be candied in the syrup and fruit salads also. So there is a consumption of this unripe fruits also as vegetables, as well as also as a contraceptive in the traditional areas. So seeds are also having medicinal properties. As I have told that papain, which is an enzyme, which can be used as a digestive aid. So most of the digestive tonics, it will be added, and it can be used to treat the ulcers and diphtheria or diseases. And it is also used to pre-shrinking of the wool in the to pre-shrink the wool, and also degumming of the natural silk and rayon. So I have already told it is used as a tenderizing the meat, and it is also used in the leather industries for tanning of that leather. So also used in brewing industries as a clarifying agent, and several drugs can be prepared as a product in with this. And there are several uses with this, and very nutritious. And vitamin A, it ranks second to mango in the content of vitamin A. Apart from vitamin A, it contains vitamin C, riboflavin, niacin, and also minerals like calcium, phosphorus, iron, fat, and carbohydrates. So apart from papain, the raw fruits can be used for extraction of the pectin, which can be used as a flavoring extract and as a emulsifying agent. And you know that earlier, recently, like dengue fever, where the platelets are reduced, best remedy to enhance the platelet count is taking of the papaya leaf as papaya leaf juice, which will improve the platelets count. Another important post-harvest product prepared from papaya is tutti frutti. So usually the immature, that is immature papaya, fruits are made are soaked in the brain solution, that is salt solution, and it will be soaked for a certain period. Then it will be removed and it will be washed, and it was made into small bits. And these bits were soaked in sugar syrup. It will be soaked for 48 to 60 hours. Then after that, it will be removed and dried with fermented colors. You can see these tutti frutti, especially in some bakery products like Dil Kush. There are some products are there. You can see that sometimes it will be no, it will be maybe people believe that it may be the cherry bits, but it is prepared from immature papaya fruits. So this is about the composition and uses of papaya. Let me go. What is the climate conditions required for growing of papaya? So as I already told, it is a tropical plant. It requires a warm, humid climate, and its cultivation is extended throughout the tropic regions of the world. It is susceptible to frost. It cannot withstand low temperatures, and it can be grown up to an elevation of 1000 to 1200 meters from mean sea level. So if you see the temperature range, so it can survive, or it can give better performance in the temperature range 38 to 44 degrees centigrade. But the optimum range of temperature for papaya cultivation is 22 to 36 degrees centigrade. So if the day temperature is 35 degrees centigrade and if the night temperature is 25 degrees centigrade, it is the most suitable temperatures for its growth. So what happens if the temperatures raises or if it is beyond the optimum temperature, then you can see more maleness. That means the flowers will become maleness, so there will not be any fruit set. So you will be seeing the gaps of the, you cannot see any fruit set during that period. And if the temperatures are very low, then also the plants will be damaged. If it is the temperature 1 degree or less than 1 degree like that. And even if the night temperatures below 20.5 degrees centigrade also, you will get more carpelloid fruits. That means misshapen fruits will be there, and it will not have a proper market value. So, and another problem is papaya fruits plants are very sensitive to strong winds. So we cannot cultivate papaya in the areas where you will get strong winds, because it is a hollow stem, so it cannot withstand strong winds. So it needed direct sunlight. So if there is, if at all it is grown in the shade, the fruits will develop a poor flavor, and it requires well-drained soils. It cannot withstand waterlogging conditions. So if we cannot grow in the heavy rainfall areas, if the water stagnation is a problem, it will get foot rot diseases. That is, it is susceptible to Phytophthora, which causes foot rot. So plant will collapse, and we cannot successfully grow the papaya in the poor drainage soils. So it is also sensitive to saline conditions. So it requires a optimum pH of 5.5 to 7. Then only it will give better growth and yield. So we know that papaya is a quick growing condition. It is a quick growing and it will give continuous fruiting, and it is evergreen plant. So it requires good fertile soils and well-drained soils and sandy loam soils. So, and soils with a good nutrients, that is rich in organic matter and rich in nutrient status. Such type of plants will be better for papaya cultivation. And especially we should avoid planting papaya in deep clay soils, calcareous soils and rocky soils. So I have already told that is highly sensitive to flooding. So if there is floods or waterlogging is there, the plants will die within 3 to 4 days. So that precaution has to be taken. So even if there is heavy rains, we have to take care to drain the excess water immediately from the field. So coming to cultivars, there are several institutions earlier involved in development of several varieties. One is Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, then IHR, Indian Horticultural Institute of Horticulture, and then IRI also. They have released several varieties. So let us But nowadays, practically, so there is only one variety is leading in papaya cultivation, which is imported from that is imported from is Taiwan. Taiwan. It is known as Taiwan Red Lady 786. So earlier, when in 90s, 95, even up to 2000, all these TNAU varieties are cultivated in the farmers' fields. But later on, after introduction of this Taiwan Red Lady variety, because of high yielding nature and red pulp color, and because of the gynodioecious nature, so it has dominated all these cultivars, and only the one variety which is cultivated in the entire India. But it has a problems, constraints. Even if the constraints, farmers are preferring that variety only because it has a good market value. So because there is a market, people will prefer, and there is a better market channels. That's why still that variety is ruling. So Tamil Nadu Agriculture University released Co 1 to Co 8 varieties in 93, 95, 96. This Co 2 is the major variety which is grown in South Indian conditions. It is high yielder, and because it is suitable for papaya extraction also. So this is the major variety which was grown in the earlier days. And there is Co3, Co4, and there are two types of plants. One we have to keep in mind. One is dioecious type. So papaya, two types of plant varieties will be there. One is dioecious variety, and another one is gynodioecious variety. So earlier we have more of dioecious types. Dioecious types means, so that variety you will have two plants, separate plants, like male plant will be separate and female plant will be separate. So we have to maintain the field, both male and female plant, then only we'll get fruit set. And we have to spare some land for male plants, though it won't produce any fruit. So that is the case for Co2. Co2 is a dioecious types, but the variety which is in now under commercial scale is a gynodioecious types. Are you hearing, ma? My voice is audible?
Yes, ma'am, your voice is clear. You can proceed.
So, so what is a Taiwan Red Lady, which is a gynodioecious? That means you will have two types of plants here also. One is hermaphrodite plant, which will have both male and female parts in the flower. Another one is female plant. That means only female. That means only female flowers will be there. Here, there is all the plants will come to bearing. So there is no plant without bearing. Hermaphrodite will also produce fruit, and female plant also produce fruit. So that is the major cause for preference of this Taiwan Red Lady compared to other dioecious types, because there is no need to maintain the male plants. So each and every plant will come to fruiting. So this is Co1, Co2, Co3, Co4, and Co5, Co6, Co7. This is Co8 is a recent variety. So here they have developed this variety. So it is also having a red pulp as Taiwan Red Lady, but it is a dioecious types. That means we have to maintain male and male plants for fruit set and all. So here there are two varieties which are suitable for papain extraction. One is Co2, another one is Co5. You can get high papain content, that is 45 to 14 to 15 grams of papain fruit. So for people who want to grow only for papain, they can go for these varieties. Then IRI also released several varieties, Pusa Dwar, Pusa Jain, Pusa Majesty, and Pusa Delicious. Here also Pusa Majesty is again a papain suitable for papain extraction. So IHR again Coorg Honeydew, Washington, Ranchi, and Arka Surya. So this Arka Surya will also have a good pink flush fruits as in Taiwan Red Lady. But problem here is keeping quality is very poor compared to Taiwan Red Lady. That's why though they are very good high yielders, but because of it cannot withstand for longer distance transport, again people are going for that imported variety only. So here we can see this there are several exotic varieties also introduced in India, but it was not as suitable as Red Lady, because Red Lady was suitable for our conditions. So there are other honeydew is there. Just I will go through it. Sunrise Solo. This is also a gynodioecious types, which is from Hawaii. It is a small size of fruits, because the name itself indicates that Sunrise Solo means one person can eat one fruit. So small fruit suitable, sufficient for one person. So this is also having very good TSS, and it has very good keeping quality, but fruit size is very small. Then this is Washington. The main identification character is the petioles. If you observe, they will be in purple color. So the leaf petioles will be in purple color. So this is again O1, O2, O3. So these are all, and again Co3 is a gynodioecious type, but the problem here is keeping quality is very less. So Co4, Co5 is there, and I just go through it. So this is a dioecious type. Red pulped variety. It is also suitable for papaya extraction. So then Pusa Bihar, that is like Pusa delicious. It is a gynodioecious, heavy bearer. And then Pusa majesty is another one. It is also gynodioecious. It has a good keeping quality and tolerant root knot nematode. Then Pusa giant is another dioecious type. And Pusa dwarf. There are two types which are useful for high density planting of papaya. One is Pusa dwarf and Pusa nanha. Both are dioecious types. That means we have to maintain male plants. For every 10 female plants, we have to keep one male plant. Then this is again a Coorg honeydew, which is a selection from honeydew from IHR Chettali. There will also, you will not get any male plants because it is a gynodioecious type. The plants are either hermaphrodite or a female plant. So sometimes what happens, the fruits in female plants are sometimes seedless and the quality is very excellent. But long distance transport, they are not suitable. So this is Arka Prabhat. As I have already told, it is a hybrid released from IHR Bangalore. This is another hybrid, that is Surya. It is a cross between Sunrise Solo and pink flesh seed. So this is the variety which I am telling. It was a red lady, or we can call it as Taiwan 786. So major advantage is keeping quality. That's why the exporters or marketers are preferring this, because the fruits are daily sent to North India. So that's why they are looking for a best keeping quality fruits. Earlier, we don't have this papaya ring spot virus to our co-series varieties which are growing in those days. But after introduction of this variety, so this papaya ring spider was spread to all the other varieties also. Now, no variety is resistant to this virus. So all are susceptible. Even this papaya red lady is also will affect with papaya ring spot virus, but it was somewhat tolerant to this papaya ring spot virus. And another major advantages of this variety is it comes to early in bearing. So generally it takes 10 months in the other varieties, but it will come to bearing 8 to 9 months if the temperatures are suitable. Even it comes to first harvest by 7th month itself after transplanting. So heavy yielder, and the potential yield is 120 tons per hectare. And 2 years you can get productive cycle, though it will stand for 3 years also, but we can get productive yields for first 2 years. But this is only for the areas where papaya is newly introduced. In the traditional areas, because of the heavy load of this viruses, and also if there are any rains, we cannot maintain the plant for 2 years. So farmers generally transplant and they will remove within 1 year. So they will go for fresh planting. Even if they keep that plants, they will get very small sized fruits, which will not have a market value. So later on they will use for, they will give that orchard for papaya extraction and for 2 to fruity preparations. So generally, we can see 50 to 120 fruits per tree, and average fruit weight will be 1.5 to 2 kgs. It is a semi-dwarf in height, and the first bearing starts at 50 to 80 centimeters from the ground, and keeping quality thick and firm and red flesh, and it will have a very good taste. TSS 13 to 14% will be there. So this is the red lady fields. So coming to nursery management, this is another important commercial industry in papaya growing areas. So generally, farmers won't raise the nursery by themselves. They will purchase the seed and they will hand over the seed to the nurserymen, and where the nurserymen will raise the plants, and they will give the nursery plants to the farmers, and farmers will pay the maintenance charge to the nursery, maybe 5 or 10 rupees based on the demand. So that's why just if at all any farmer want to grow their own nursery, or if the farmer want to take nursery, papaya nursery as a business, they can take up this nursery production as one of the nursery business. So coming to the nursery, papaya nursery management, we already discussed that it is propagated by seed. So seeds only used for multiplication of the plant material. So if you take the viability, that means how many days the seeds are ready to germinate is known as seed viability. So these papaya seeds will have very poor viability. So no seed will germinate after 3 months if you kept in the open conditions, and this germination percentage also reduces rapidly with the age of the seeds. So that's why what happens, seeds has to be planted within 45 days after seed extraction from the fruits. So immediately after seed extracted from the fruit, we have to plant within 45 days. With regard to hybrid variety like Taiwan Red Lady or Arka Rabat, we cannot use the same seed. So we have to purchase every year from the company, release it from that, because for traditional varieties we can use the seeds, but for hybrid varieties we cannot use the seed because it won't get true to type. So if we have store in a proper condition, so the viability can be extend up to 6 to 7 months. So coming regarding the seed rate, as I have already told, dioecious types are there. There you have to maintain male plants, and gynodioecious type there is no need for maintenance. So that there is a seed rate difference you can observe. Dioecious types you have to you require 200 grams of seed per acre, whereas in gynodioecious types you can 20 grams per acre is sufficient. So in generally this Taiwan Red Lady will be available in 10 grams packet. Each 10-gram packet costs somewhere 2,500 or 3,000 based on the demand. And 10 grams packet will contain 625 to 750 seeds. So 2 packets of 10 grams is sufficient for to grow in 1 acre, because in 1 acre 1,000 plants will be accommodated. So whenever you want to sow the seeds, so it is better to soak the seeds in 100 ppm gibberellic acid for 2 hours. So it enhances the germination. Uniform germination will be there. Then we have to grow the papaya seeds in poly bags, generally 4 inches to 6 inches or 5 into 7 inches. Poly bags are used with 150 200 gauge, which is having holes on both sides. So for potting mixture, proper care has to be taken. As I have already told, it cannot withstand water logging. So the potting mixture should be 2 parts of red soil, 1 part compost or farmyard manure, and 1 part sand. And we can also mix 2 kgs of superphosphate, single superphosphate, per 100 kgs of potting mixture. So by taking this potting mixture, we have to fill up the bags with the potting mixture. And to avoid this control of fungal rots or damping of this, we have to apply trichoderma 1 to 2 kgs to the potting mixture. And if at all nematode is a problem in your area, then we have to apply 10 kgs of neem cake for 100 kgs of potting mixture. So at the potting mixture level, so we can avoid or control the nematodes in the nursery itself. And even we can apply carbofuran granules, 3G granules, 3 grams per poly bag. At nursery stage, if at all sick soils are there or problematic soils are there, to control nematodes. So it is necessary to have a uniform and early germination. You have to soak the seeds overnight for 10 hours, and later on we have to remove the seeds from water, and we have to keep the cloth tight for 15 minutes. Then we have to dry the seeds under shade. Then we have to treat the seeds with Capton or oxycarboxyn, that is Vitavax, 2 grams per kg seed. Then we have to sow the seeds immediately after soaking in the poly bags to a depth of 1 to 1.5 centimeters, that is half-inch depth. And you should not sow the seeds too deep, then there will be delay in germination, and sometimes if the seed will not germinate. So immediately after sowing, we have to give the irrigation through rose can. So rose can, and if you keep the seeds in the partial shade, you will have better establishment of the seedlings, and irrigation should be given based on the requirement. And generally seeds will germinate 10 to 15 days after sowing, and the germination will be delayed if the winter is prevailing, that is low temperatures. Germination will be delayed. In summer there will be quick germination. If at all you receive any rains during the nursery time, it is necessary to cover the seedlings with polytunnel, or the tunnel which is covered with a plastic sheet. And this you have to take care of the seedlings in the nursery, and seedlings will be ready for transplanting 45 to 50 days after sowing, or the plants which are with a height of 10 to 15 centimeters, then they are ready for transplanting. And while transplanting in the pits, after remove, so we have to remove carefully the plastic bag without disturbing the ball of earth. And another thing we have to keep in mind is prior to transplanting, the seedlings in the poly bag has to be irrigated 1 day earlier. So generally planting should be done in the evening hours for better establishment. And if you want to keep some extra plants, has to be kept by the farmer, so that if any gaps are there in the field, so we can utilize that extra plants for gap filling. So during the nursery management, we have to spray the regular intervals to avoid the aphids and white flies, which are the vectors of the viruses. So we have to spray dimethiate, that is available as a Rogar, 2 ml per liter at 10 days interval. And we can also mix with the carbendazim 1 gram or dithium 3 grams along with this insecticides. And if at all you observe any damping of symptoms, that is seedlings will be drying, so in such cases we have to drench the soil, poly bags, potting mixture with copper oxychloride 2 grams per liter, and generally 25 ml is sufficient for 1 poly bag. So when the seedlings are 1 month old, to avoid this fungal rots in the nursery. To have a better growth of seedlings or better root growth, another method is spraying of cycocin, that is a growth retardant. Lihocin, it is available in the market as Lihocin. We can spray 5 ml of Lihocin per 15 liters of water when the plant is 4 to 5 leaf stage. So this will make the seedling strong and with a better root growth. So weeding has to be done whenever the weeds are there to avoid the competition. And this photo you can see, this is the healthy plant, and this is the papaya ring spot affected seedling. So that's why we have to take proper care of raising the papaya nursery, because the papaya ring spot is transmitted through aphids, and there are leaf curl virus which is transmitted through whitefly. So to avoid this, it is recommended to grow the papaya nursery in the insect proof nets. So insect proof nets we have to grow this papaya nursery. So then only when you are planting in the field, they are free from virus incidences. So this is the red lady papaya fruit. So like that we have to grow the papaya seedlings in the insect proof net. This is some mostly the commercial nurseries, they won't grow in the insect proof net. So you may or may not get maybe affected with viruses which will not be seen in the nurseries. So this is the nurseries. This is a one business, especially in commercial papaya growing areas. There are some nurseries which are supplying the plant material so that farmer can get ready plant material, or farmer will give the seeds to grow the seedlings, because he cannot take complete care of the seedlings in the nursery. So in brief, first day sowing of polybags and watering with rose can, and 10 to 15 days germination of the seeds will be there, and 30 days drenching with fungicides containing copper oxychloride, and then 45-55 days we can transplant the seedlings in the main field. So that is about papaya nursery management. Let us see growing season, when we can grow the papaya. So majorly, um, generally papaya will be grown throughout the year if the rains are optimum. But in heavy rainfall areas, we have to take care when to plant. So this time of sowing of papaya mainly depends upon the choice of fruiting season, when we will get high demand, and then danger of rain. Generally, what in our Andhra Pradesh, in some parts of Kodur and area, papaya will be grown so that the fruits will be available for Ramjan season. So during that period, you will get better price for the plants. And another thing which has to be kept is rains. If you are having heavy rains, though you plant, not even single seedling will survive if there is heavy rains. So that is also kept in the mind while selecting the time of sowing. So as I already told, that we can grow the papaya throughout the year except in summer months. And climatic conditions of that place, and then availability of irrigation facilities and consumer demands in that area. So which period you will get better price. So we have to plan that so that the fruits will come during that period. So in most of the countries, beginning of the southwest monsoons in the areas where rainfall is low. Whereas in heavy rainfall areas, it is better to sow the transplant the seedlings after cessation of the monsoons. Like if northeast monsoons are there in our area, like Kadapa, Kodur and Nellore areas, here we will receive rains from October to December. So that is October, November, and even December 15th. So we will, this the farmers will follow here planting in the by the end of the November or in the December month. So to escape from heavy rains. Then coming to planting, so we have to prepare the land with very fine tilth. And while planting the seedlings, it is necessary to dig the pits 1.5 feet size, that is 45 centimeter size, length, width, and depth. And the topsoil which we have removed from the pit, it has to be mixed with farmyard manure, then neem cake, and everything. Then again you refill the pit, and then you have to plant the seedlings in the center of the pit by providing support. As I have already told, if there is a heavy rainfall is there, in such cases winter planting is preferred. Whereas in moderate rainfall areas, we can plant the planting in both the seasons. So generally 45 to 60 days old seedlings will be taken for transplanting. Then while filling up the pits, it is better to apply, coming to spacing, so 1.8 to 1.8 meters. It is similar to banana, or you can go for 2 or 2.4 meter spacing. It has to be mixed with 30 to 40 kgs of farmyard manure, and some places where the that is termite is a problem, then you can also apply 25 grams of methyl parathene dust can also be. Then you can fill the pits with the potting mixture. So I have already told, for dioecious types like Co1, Co2, you have to plant 3 to 4 seedlings per pit. So in the one single pit, you have to add 3 to 4 seedlings. Whereas for hermaphrodite plants, we can go for 2 seedlings. But for red lady, because the seed is very costly, it is sufficient to plant single seedling per pit. So why we are planting 4 seedlings for dioecious types means we cannot identify which is male or which is female in the earlier stages. So when we plant the 4 seedlings, and after 3 to 4 months, when the plants will come to flowering, then we have to identify which is a male plant. Then we have to remove the male plants, keeping one female plant in the pit. So that's why there is a seed rate is also more in the dioecious types. So then coming to intercropping and intercultivation, the space between the plants can be utilized for growing the short duration vegetables. Like you can go for leafy vegetables, and up to 6 months we can go for any intercrops. And but you have to keep in mind that papaya should not like heavy watering, heavy irrigation, or less water is required for papaya. So we cannot grow the intercrops which is requiring heavy irrigation. Then control of weeds, we can go for weedicides which are available, and then earthing up has to be done after 3 or 4 months. But keep one thing keep in mind is we should not grow cucurbitaceous or solanaceous crops as intercrops, because they are having similar viruses and nematodes which also affect the papaya plant. And if you see the flowering and fruit set, papaya starts flowering 5 to 6 months after planting, and it will take another 5 months for fruit maturity after fruit set. But if you take red lady, that is a imported variety, it comes to flowering by 3 months after transplanting, and another 3 months it will come to harvesting. That is, from seventh month after transplanting, you will get the fruits for harvesting. So again, we have already discussed in dioecious types, we have to keep one male plant for every 10 female plants as pollinizers. So if you don't have any male plant in dioecious types, the female plants will not set any fruit. Uh, that is the things you have to keep in mind. Coming to the nutrient management or fertilizer management in papaya. So here you can see the chart. This is a pie chart. That is a bar chart. You can observe this is the nutrients which is removed by the whole plant at the time of harvest from the soil. So you can see it requires potassium requirement is very heavy in for papaya, and then followed by calcium, and then nitrogen, and then magnesium and phosphorus. So because it is a continuous fruiting tree and heavy bearing tree, so it requires huge amounts of nutrients. So it's a heavy feeder and needs heavy doses of manures and fertilizers. Generally, the recommended dose of fertilizers is per plant. Generally, fruit plants we will recommend for per plant 250 grams of nitrogen, 250 grams of phosphorus, and 500 grams of potassium is required per plant to get heavy yields for Andhra Pradesh.
Madam,
Here,
Madam,
hello.
sorry to interrupt, madam. We have completed 45 minutes. If you can quickly finish, I'll take up the questions from the participants.
Okay. This is
Okay.
So if you come to this is a chart. I don't want to explain. You can take any screenshot like that. So this is a fertilizer doses scheduled in papaya, and majorly farmyard manure, neem cake is required, and straight fertilizers is better. Urea, super, and muriate of potash can be applied, and you can also go for fertigation through papaya with the water soluble fertilizers. You can have urea and 13045, which can be applied weekly intervals for 48 weeks. So then another important point is here the papaya. The farmers are growing papaya, so they are sustaining the papaya plants are sustaining with virus only. So to have better strength of the plants, even the plants are affected with virus, this ring spot virus. There is a recommendation of micronutrient spray. So formula 4 can be sprayed at 3 months or 4 months interval. So it will give plants strength to sustain even under the virus pressure. So there are several nutritional disorders like nitrogen deficiency is there, and phosphorus deficiency. If you adapt to integrated nutrient management, we can overcome all these micronutrient deficiencies. And irrigation, I have already told, very less irrigation is required for papaya. And for rainy season, no irrigation is required. For winter, 8 to 10 days once we have to give irrigation. For summer, 6 days. It is better to go for drip irrigation system to avoid this damping of symptoms. So in the early stages, you require 4 liters per plant, and fruit bearing stage 16 liters per plant per day. And during summer, it will ranges 20 to 25 liters per plant. So this is the irrigation requirement of the papaya based on the evaporation of the plant. And if you use the drip irrigation, you will get 75% increase in the yield than the conventional irrigation, and you will also save the water. 68% saving of water will be there. So these are the different types of flowers you observe in the fruits. So this is a male plant which won't produce any fruit, and this is the female plant. So this is the hermaphrodite plant. So the pollen from hermaphrodite valve will be sufficient for pollination of this female plant. Another thing is the hermaphrodite flower. If you see the fruit, you will have oblong shaped fruits in the hermaphrodite flower. So whereas the female plant will produce a round shaped fruits. So this is a male flower. Sometimes male flowers also, you can see carpelloid fruits. They are not commercial value. So fruit matures in 5 months, and if at all any flower and fruit drop is observed, we can go for Planofix 1 ml in 4.5 liters of water. Pollinators mainly is honeybee, butterflies, and wind is the major effective pollinating agents. And so generally, North Indian people will come to the orchards and they will harvest the fruits, and generally the identification for when the harvesting indices is the fruits will turn into slight yellow in color, and at the base of the fruit it will start yellowing in the base of the fruit. That is the indication. At that time the fruit has to be harvested, and generally manual harvesting is done. And for local market we can have when the color is changes to half yellow or 3/4 yellow, but for long distance transport we have to harvest at this stage, that is second stage, which is 1/4 yellow stage. So generally the fruits will be packed in a newspapers. So local market I can send in a single layer of straw, but for long distance transport they will be wrapped in newspapers and tissue papers, and by reaching there within 2 or 3 days the fruits will ripen, and so it will have market value. So coming to storage, okay, if at all any doubts I will explain. This is a papaya extraction method. It takes again generally the immature fruits of 75 to 90 days fruits are used for papaya extraction early in the morning. So we have to finish papaya extraction before 10 a.m. 1 minute, excuse. 15 minutes. Okay, so we have to make longitudinal cuts on the fruits. Then the latex milk will be collected, and we can do the repeated cutting on the same fruits for 4 days interval. So then we have to collect the latex in the aluminum trays, and generally we will get 1.23 to 7.45 grams per fruit. This papaya, and then the variety suitable for is Co2, Co4, Co5. And so this is about. So generally there are major problems here is foot rot. The stem end rot or foot rot is there in heavy rains, or if there is any symptom, Phytophthora diseases will be there. This is the problem. To control this, we have to select the soils, and so these are the symptoms you will see in the field. So for this, seed treatment should be done, and drainage facilities has to be provided, and we have to apply trichoderma to control this Phytophthora symptoms, and we have to drench the soil, Bodo mixture or copper oxychloride to overcome this problem. So trichoderma, if you apply trichoderma, the root growth will be enhanced. And another problem is papaya ring spot virus, leaf curl virus is there. They are transmitted by aphids or white flies. To control this, what we have to do is before planting of the papaya, 15 days before planting of the papaya, we have to raise border plants like maize or sesbania or banana. We can grow them as a border crop, and while and nursery also, we have to get the nursery from insect proof nets. And these are the symptoms of virus, papaya ring spot virus. Sometimes there will be drying of the entire plant, and the ring spots on the fruit. We will not get any market value for such fruits, and misshapen fruits will also be observed. So this is the aphid which transmit from one plant on another plant, and this is the leaf curl virus. This is transmitted by white flies. So for management, using of disease-free healthy seedlings, optimum spacing is required. We have to, if at all any one or two plants you observe in the field, it is immediately removed and destroyed. So to avoid spreading of this, and seed treatment with imidacloprid or thiamethoxam, and growing maize as a barrier crop, and spraying of micronutrients like zinc, boron, magnesium, manganese, and copper, and never grow the vegetables which are cucurbits, tomato, chili, brinjal, because this will attract the insect vectors like aphids or white flies. So if found necessary, we can spray imidacloprid or acetamoprid or diphenthron or like thiamethoxam as alternate sprays to control the sucking insects. So this is the virus free. Another problem is papaya mealybugs. So this is also causes some problems. So to control this, we can spray. So first we have to remove this white coating. So that's why first we have to give a spraying with the shampoo without any chemical. Then once the white coat is dissolved, then we have to apply Rogar 2 ml per liter. So by this we can control. There are some natural insects also there to control this papaya ring spot virus. So this
Madam,
is,
shall I proceed with the questions?
yes. Okay. So this, thank you. If at all any doubts, you can ask.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am, for a detailed presentation. I'll take up the questions from the participants now. The first question is, one of our member, Mr. Mohan Rao, is asking, can you please throw some lights on shelf life of the papaya byproducts?
Shelf life of papaya byproducts. So
Yeah.
for tutti frutti, it can be stored. It can. So we can enhance this papayan. We can store for more than 1 year. So, but this tutti frutti, we have to. I think it can be stored for 2 or 3 months. Proper. So it has to be properly preserved. Because it is brain solution, we are storing that in brain solution. Then again, we are treating with sugar syrup. So it will have long shelf life than the fruit.
Okay. Again, Mr. Mohan Rao is asking, papaya milk has any usage or demand, or any byproduct can be made by that?
Papayan enzyme.
Papaya milk is asking.
The same, madam. Papaya milk is converted into papayan latex.
Okay.
The powder. Papayan is prepared from that papaya milk only. So this papaya milk is extracted from the immature fruits. That after collecting this papaya milk, we have to dry them. We have to collect them in aluminum trays, and we have to shade dry them. And after drying, we have to make into powder and add potassium metabisulfate. That papayan enzyme is having very good market value and medicinal values there. We have to convert them into powder form by drying in the shade.
Okay. Where to get technology to make papayan extracts?
So technology you can get from TNAU, Tamil Nadu Agriculture University. So what they are doing is in our area, like so first farmers will sell the fruits for commercial for fruit purpose, and after 1 year where there is very small fruits are there, when there was no market value for that fruits, they will give that orchard for papayan extraction. So there are people who are doing this papayan business. So they will take the entire orchard and they will pay for some amount for like 3 rupees per kg, like that, 3 or 5 rupees per kg. And they will collect the latex, and that fruits are sent for making tutti frutti. So you can get from Tamil Nadu, TNA. Hello.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. The next question is, in which parts of India is papaya widely cultivated?
So I have told you na, entire, especially Andhra Pradesh is the major area, Tamil Nadu is major area, Karnataka is also there, Maharashtra is there. So Andhra Pradesh is leading state, and then Gujarat. So mostly that tropical climatic states are suitable for papaya cultivation, and they're major areas.
Okay. In which way can your university help in practically helping farmers in nearby regions grow papaya?
Actually, in our university, there is one center on ASRP center on papaya and banana, papaya in papaya and mango and banana at Anantaraspeta, Horticultural Research Station Anantaraspeta, and they are doing the research on that, and they are doing on nutrient management, and they are keeping some trainings, and they are making awareness to the farmers about this papaya ring spot virus and how to manage this everything. So the and even our scientists, whoever you want to meet our research stations, they will provide the technology, and exclusively Anantaraspeta there is one center, ACRP and fruits.
Okay, thank you very much.
Now it is.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much. We have now completed the round of questions. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank Dr. C Madhumathi for the talk and for answering the questions. I like to also thank all the participants in this meeting. This meeting will now be closed.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Shall
Yes,
I?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can please.
Thank you. Thank you.